Welcome to the Firehouse, the show dedicated to the brave men and women who serve our community.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Firehouse on WRHU 88.7. I am your host, Chris Moses, and today, sitting with me in the Firehouse is none other than Charlie Crayton. What is going on, brother?
My brother.
How you feeling, brother? You good?
I'm all right. I'm
good,
here.
good.
I'm alive.
I love to hear that. All right, so I know who you are because you're from the best engine company ever, which is Brookside. Right? But the audience doesn't know who you are. So if you can tell them what department you're in, what company, what ranks you've held, and how long you've been in.
Okay. Well, my name is Charlie Crayton, ex-chief. I'm from the Uniondale Fire Department. Brookside Company 2.
There we go.
My company. Okay, been there. Served as in every position up until captain, of course, 3 consecutive years.
Okay.
And then I moved to Chiefs ranks, okay, which I've served in Chiefs is 1 time so far.
Okay.
And here
so
I am.
So far, I heard that.
No.
Well, we heard that. We heard
we'll
so
put it this
far.
way. I don't know. The 1 time is good
Freudian
enough.
slip.
Don't take it and run.
Don't
take it and run.
So how long in a hole have you been in?
29 years.
29
It's
years.
gonna be 30 years next year, I think.
Chief, I know you got some stories. I
Yeah.
know you got some
Yeah.
stories, and we're going to get into those stories. Let's start at the beginning, right?
Mhm.
What makes you want to join the fire department? Like, what makes you say, I'm going to just wake up and start running into burning buildings?
Well,
like,
at some stage in your life,
Mm-hmm.
Life comes. I started very late.
Okay.
I was a late,
So late,
very
like what? Like
late age,
when?
late
20s, 30s?
30s. I was
Wow,
34.
So 34.
34.
So it's funny because most people that come here, they've started at 18. They were in
Yes.
juniors. There was that.
Yes.
So you started at 34.
34.
So you already have everything established at this moment.
Exactly. So the thing is that my perspective is different than the way I came in as opposed to someone who comes in like you said
At
as 18 and
19.
and you're a kid. I want to be a fireman and and all this kind of stuff. So now the reality becomes something to you that that's the way your dream is to be this particular thing. But like you said, I'm already 34.
Yeah.
At this period of time, I'm already married. I have 2 children. I already have a home.
Life is already established for you.
I'm going a different direction. I'm not thinking about this as a,
So then I guess the question would be,
So
why?
so
at
this-
34,
so let me-
children, house, all it is.
So
You say, I want to run into a burning building. Is it a midlife crisis?
no, it was not.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
once upon a time, one day, my wife,
Okay.
Miss Tina Crayton, she's
Okay.
a school teacher. She's a retired school teacher
right.
at Grand Avenue.
Shout out. Ms.
Shout
Crayton,
out
how you
Miss
doing?
Crayton, all right. And she came home. She had taken the children to McDonald's on Front Street.
Okay.
And then back at that time, they had fire prevention.
Okay.
Fire prevention at that time was in the parking lot on Front Street at
Okay.
McDonald's.
Okay.
Or at least a recruitment. Put it this way, started to be like a recruitment thing going on.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she brought the children out from, getting their little, Mickey D's, whatever. And they had little mocks set up in the back of McDonald's. And this man came up to her, bring the kid over here. Let's talk. He want to talk to you. And she went and talked to the guy, and he had all these papers in her hand. Talking about, you got a husband? Where's he at? He said, what is he doing? All right. I'm hinting to you, so what are you doing? What you do? Right? And she said, bring him down. I want to, you bring him down, tell him, you want him to join the fire department.
Okay.
And we need good men. He says, what does he do? And asking all kind of questions. So then she'd take these papers at home, tell him to fill them out.
I
and
know
bring
she's
it back
like,
to me.
first of all,
And
what?
Yeah, but then she said, but then the kids, my children,
They excited.
they're excited. Daddy, oh, I'm going to be a fireman. Oh, my goodness. They came home with all this excitement, And
So
I'm like,
then,
so my wife came home with the papers, and she's telling me, I talked to this man. This man have to be Commissioner, ex-Chief Merv Campbell.
There we go, Marvin.
All right.
What's
So
going
Merv
on,
was the
Marvin?
first one that
He's
started.
in Vegas now, right?
Yeah,
Or something like that.
and he started. He's the first one that started the aggressive recruitment program.
Okay.
To start bringing more people in, because, like I said, we're all in age. Like I said, I started at 34, but
Yeah.
we're looking for recruits and to fill in the ranks. This is a young man's game.
Yeah.
You understand? Just make no mistake about it. And he was trying to recruit men to come in, especially men for the community, the growing community in Uniondale, to represent. So here I am, confronted with my wife and my children with this paperwork about being a fireman. So I said, really? I said, and I'm thinking, I said, wait a minute, I'm working my job, I'm doing this, I got family care issues I'm handling, I have a church background and I'm involved in my church.
Yeah,
I'm doing a lot of stuff. So, I said to my wife, you know what you're giving me? This is another job.
Yeah.
It's another job, and it's volunteer and I'm not getting paid for it. Yeah. So my perspectives were different because it was, like you said, I'm already sunk
older,
into
so
all the stuff, the responsibilities.
You didn't grow up in there knowing the fire department, so your first thing is like, wait,
what? Right. So
she
said, he said to fill in the papers and move forward the process. And he told me to meet him at Brookside on Sunday morning, and he will talk to me. So I wound up finding myself in front at Brookside on the apron. I met him. And he began to tell me all the nuances of, the volunteer fire service and why I needed to be a part of it. You understand? So I considered it. I took it home. And I reiterated. I said, don't tell me 20 years ago, 20 years later now, that this is a problem because this is a second job. So I just considered it. He said that we need role models. We need guys, honorable men in the service.
Which is crazy because that's what you would have been. You are at that time, 34 kids home. You are now that role model for these younger generations coming in. Even though you're coming in with them, you're still like something that they want to be. They want to have children, and want to have a home and everything like that. Steady job and everything like that.
So you're modeling to them a certain person or personality that is in front of them.
Wow, forward thinking on Merv. Look at that.
So, he really emphasized that point. I got to give him kudos because, like I said, besides myself, when I went to Grand Avenue, I was invited for a visit to just present, do a career day there at Grand Avenue. So I asked him, I said, he's a commissioner. And I said, well, how do I do this? I said, do I ask you? Do I ask the chief? I said, whatever. So he said, no, push it by the chief. And then, I already know I'm going to present it to them. You just go and make your presentation. I said, great. So I just went. I told my wife, and he said, tell the principal that I'll be there to present myself and ask any questions, interact with the children, and whatever. Just a presentation. It wasn't
so this is like fire prevention.
Yeah, fire prevention. Kind of offset of that. Just a career thing, seeing a fireman and kids got fireman questions and stuff. So that's what I did. I wound up doing that with them. With that, I was able to even recruit from that position. And that's where I think you said you had there's two ex-chiefs that came in with me.
Yeah.
They're younger than me, Cameron Peak and Harold Long.
Yes.
They were, 18, just turning 18 years old. And their mother was, she was there in Grand Avenue. She overheard, the conversation of me knowing my wife about being in the fire department. So a lot of people have the concept that the fire department out here is a paid fire department. We go on callbacks all the time,
and that stems from, just for our listeners, a lot of that kind of stems from people that live in the city, live in Queens, and then they transition over to Long Island. So they just assume that it is paid. Yep,
everybody's on the assumption that we're paid fire department. That we just here, no, we're volunteers. So when all of those questions were coming out, I said, no, we're volunteer. I said, anybody can join. She says, oh, I have my son. I need him to, get it busy doing something.
So I'm assuming that was Harold Long's
mom, right?
Chief Long's mom.
Right, Chief Long's mom.
And of course he was going to bring.
Right. So then when Chief Peak came after him. And like I said, they were 19, 18 years old when they joined. Sorry.
Okay.
18 years old when they joined. So that, again, was just automatically gave, how it works, you understand, and trying to bring
now
people
you're
in here.
Almost seeing now, it's like, all right, so he pulled me down here, and now I'm bringing other people down here too.
So I had to find a purpose and being and justifying what I'm doing here, because my mind, like I said, I'm mature. I'm doing my thing. My personal thing is already set, basically.
Okay.
I'm not like I'm like a kid, just running around doing stuff. I have to think of things before I do it because I'm affecting my family.
Yeah,
you understand. So, that's how that started.
So now my next question will be all right. So we're you're doing that, everything's going good. What makes you decide that, you know what, I want to jump into office, I want to be lieutenant, I want to be captain? What makes you want to do that now? Because you've already accomplished what you asked for. I'm here, I'm doing what I'm doing,
right.
There's people coming in,
right.
I'm being this role model,
right.
What makes you now want to go jump into office? Jobtown Graphics is your go-to for custom prints, t-shirts, patches, stickers, and more, turning your creative ideas into reality. Owned and operated by a firefighter, they bring dedication and precision to every project. Whatever you can imagine, they can produce. Visit them at Jobtown Graphics on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Drop a comment if you go on Instagram and tell them that WRHU 88.7 The Firehouse sent you.
Like I said,
it sounds like you started falling in love then.
I'm a guy who, if you call me, I'm coming.
There you go.
I'm here to help people.
Okay.
I'm here to help situations. I'll do the best I can.
Okay.
I'll put my shoulder to the plow. I do what I got to do to, I don't have to be up in front. I could be in the back, and I do just about as most efficient work back there than I would up in the front. I don't have to be all up in the front of everything, like that, to make the help push things forward.
Yeah.
You understand? So, but in that particular situation and in my position, again, I think my position was unique because when I did come to the firehouse, we had two scenarios here. We had the old OGs, okay, the old guys,
dinosaurs.
They was all there. Charlie Denise, you had Albertsons, you had Van Ness, okay, senior, okay, and then you had the grandson Brian, who was a lieutenant at the time. When I'm coming into all of this senior set of gentlemen, Quigley's and Russ Renchuso, okay, all of these guys. He's a heavyweight.
Got time.
All right, it's like the dinosaur era, and I gotta come into this, and then on the other side, I'm in the middle, and then you had the young guys,
young guys.
Okay, but I'm in the middle because I'm the middle-aged guy.
Yeah.
So of course there's a generational tug and pull about how we do things, how we see things, perspectives, and you're trying to reach, all this stuff was going on, So after everybody started moving on and doing the other things, when some of the other current lieutenants and were there, I think it was of course Merv was in the mix. I know Russ was in the mix. Van Ness was in the mix. You need to move up. You need to take a position.
So it was almost like they came to you and was like,
everything
it's
was
time to.
I never pushed. Put it that way. I never pushed because I'm already loaded up responsibility. I'm not looking for another load. You understand? And that's how it came to me. Everything was come to me. You gotta Terrence Cannon. I gotta put him in there. You understand?
Was like it's your time.
Yeah.
Let's go. Move up.
All right, let's get it up. Let's get it up, man. You got to move up, start chauffeur training, start doing this, doing that, doing the things, all the things that I needed to do to set myself for the situation. It wasn't easy, because my time, I was also involved in stuff in the school because my children were in school in Smith Street. I was involved there, doing stuff after school.
So
and
you're
parenting and PTA. I'm on a site base. I'm doing all kind of stuff. I'm doing this stuff, and then PAL.
But you still found the time.
I had to make it happen. The PAL football. At that time,
it all.
I'm doing everything.
But you found the time and made it happen. So now, again, I got to ask this question: with all of the things that you're doing and all of this, how long did it take? So now you're captain. You're doing what you do. Now you're over, you're ex-captain. How long before you decide to go into the chief's office? Right?
I wasn't looking for that either. I wasn't.
But how long? Like, what's the gap between that? Is that?
I think it was like maybe it was about 4 years. About at least a term or so between. Okay.
So it's some
evolution
time.
Sometime,
Yeah. So at least 5 years.
Yeah, at least 5 years.
At least 5 years before you say, I'm gonna run for chief.
Yeah.
And then you get your coat pulled and say, hey, you need to get in there for that. Forgetting that situation, what makes you say I'm gonna do that now to go to chief? Because that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
What makes you say, all right, I'll take that on?
I listen again. I was in.
What is Tina saying the whole time?
Because
she came down like, yo, I thought you was just gonna join and gain some papers. And dude, you've been here now 29 years. You're captain, you're chief. And like I said from the beginning of this conversation, I said, be careful what you're asking for because it is a job, and because it's a volunteer, it's not a paid position. Mm-hmm.
So there's a certain enticements that that draw you into doing it, and basically you have to have a heart for your community.
That's what it is.
You have a heart for your community. I remember one time that we had parades. Of course, we have our parades. We have Memorial Day parades. We have parades. We got cut down the county. You don't see any parades anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember one of the first times I marched down Uniondale Avenue in a uniform and seeing me and the people who know me in the community.
Yeah.
My neighbors, friends, and everybody and I'm marching down, and I'm like, I'm just seeing everybody's waving and carrying on, and then you come in section with your cheering section, your squad's over there, But I never forget that when I was marching, one of the kids it's looking, they were just gazing at me. They was like, "Mommy, look, it's a black fireman."
Wow, look at that.
You know how much,
and they haven't seen that.
How much optics.
Yeah,
mean and impressions mean.
Wow,
modeling.
See a fireman that looks like you, or firefighter
exactly
that looks like you.
That right there was something that
it's rewarding.
I think that ignited whatever in simple stages of embers in me to move going and see more of not literal fire, but fire in some young kid, some young person who didn't have direction or needed somewhere to see where to go. You understand? What do we do when we go in the fire? We look for the glow. Go low, look for the glow. Okay? Like a battalion chief Donald Haight says, put the wet stuff on the red stuff. We're looking for those things, when we go in. So my point is that on that position that I was in at that time, I said, wow, this is more than me. It's not. It's not. This is what I'm. I couldn't care less who stepped on my back or shoulders to get to the next level. If that's what I had to do just to be in that position at the time, that's what I'm gonna do. You understand? That. So it's not about the fire in the gut and the slaying of the fire dragon and I want to be a hero and die in the fiery flames. It was that. You understand? How can I be an effective person in modeling? How do you say the virtues, the virtues of the service, you understand? And that's I think that was the one that's the thing that's kind of set me,
kind of set you up and
kept moving me the notch forward.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do my best to do my best, Right. And it's all about me, you know what I'm saying? It's all about me because, like I said, there's everybody can say who they are, and I can stand here and talk about all the heroic fires, listen.
I will tell you this: we're gonna get into some of those.
Yeah.
I need Chief. I'm gonna need at least one or two good stories.
Yeah.
I need something. So what you got for me? What stories do you have for me?
I mean, this
over 50 years, Fire News has been the preferred publication for fire, rescue, and EMS heroes. Fire News print edition reaches Long Island, 17 states, and the District of Columbia. Visit firenews.com to see the latest news, read their digital prints, or follow them on Facebook and Instagram pages. In print, online, on social media, Fire News has you covered. Visit firenews.com. And if you go ahead and go visit on Instagram, please leave a comment and tell them that WRHU 88.7 The Firehouse sent you.
This business is like I said, on the other side of the line. I always, when I talk to people about fire service or even joining, especially the volunteer fire service, one thing, FDNY, it's a paid fire service, and we know, if you know the historic, ins and outs of it. You can watch that movie. What's the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? The Gangs of the City. Watch that movie, and you'll see the chaos that was going on when responding units come and they were fighting instead of putting out fires and all kind of stuff. So they had to organize within the city.
Look that up.
Okay, look up. Read that. Watch that movie, and you'll see how just focus on the fire response and what they did. So they had to organize and to save the city, these people into certain areas, battalions, divisions, districts, whatever you want to call it. that allowed them to operate in a way where we're focusing on putting the fire, not beating each other's brains out to see who gets there first. That kind of thing. So if you watch that movie, you'll see that.
Wow. Okay.
So check that out. But again,
the stories. That's what you was giving me. A good story.
The business is the business. You're on the other side of the line. So a lot of times, I could tell you my first time, my first fire.
And it's so crazy that everybody, and this is just for our listeners, every firefighter that sits over here, or any firefighter, always remembers their first fire. First, maybe not even your first call, but you remember that first fire. It's just ingrained in your head. Yeah. All right, so let's hear it.
Because
let's hear it, Chief.
I was in a position. I was in a unique position. Like I said, being who I was and my age, I'm thinking in a different level of, I'm not a young guy. I'm thinking rationally. I'm thinking about family. I'm thinking about things. I'm thinking about things. And the first fire I ever had, I was ever involved in, Monty's last name. Monty was a firefighter that was already there, experienced fireman. Okay.
In Brookside?
In Brookside.
Okay.
Yeah, in Brookside. And we were standing out in front. It's like maybe a few days after. I think maybe it was a Sunday, Monday. It was a Tuesday, Wednesday, during the week. I just happened to be at the firehouse because I'm showing up, and I'm there. Came from work, and I'm there. And so we're here, we just sit in the front cutting it, just talking. He's talking about stuff, the truck, the this, the that, experiences and everything. While I was standing there talking in front of the apron, just leaning up against the car, guy casually walks up and taps him on the shoulder and says, hey, my house is on fire. And I'm looking at him like,
wait. Casually
walk like he's walking down the side, like he's walking down like nothing's going on. He taps him. He says, hey, my house is on fire. Now, mind you, I never had not one day of training. I got my shiny new uniform, my turn up gear, my big orange Pro B badge, and all and all of that.
You just started.
I'm just starting fresh out the can. You understand? So then Monty said, he looked at the guy like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, what is you talking about, man?
He walked down the block, and right down the block from Brookside, that house, that white house in the corner. Okay.
Oh, wait. So, I know exactly what you're talking about. The one right there on the corner, right next to, we're going to get on the show, Ray's house.
Yes, Ray's house. Exactly.
Okay, so right
there with the big round window.
All right. So, for my listeners, literally where Brookside is, of course, all the firehouses and residential areas, it's literally like a half a block. Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all sitting up there, y'all didn't smell anything?
Nothing. So when Monty walked back, like, what is this guy? He just walked back casually, walking back.
You see him run back.
And then all of a sudden he said, get in the car. He's like, now he's bugging. He's throwing up his hands. He's jumping in the truck. He's like, he didn't know, get the gear, get your gear. Like this, right? So what's going on? I don't know anything. I'm new, brand new. I just got sworn in. You understand? And he get your stuff, and he's wrapped up. He got his gear. He got his, got the truck. He pulled the truck around the corner. The house is on fire from the rear, so we couldn't see it.
Couldn't see it. You just see the smoke and see everything else going.
He's, and we're trying to, I don't know what to do. I'm just being honest. I don't know what to do. I have one day of training. You understand? So he's trying to get me to help him out and to do certain things like, can you think you can go in? I'm gonna throw the Scott back on you. And yo, break up. Pump the brakes on that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know nothing. I don't want to get you in trouble. See, my mind, my rational.
I don't want to get you hurt either.
Yeah. And like I said, if I was a younger guy, maybe I said, yeah, let's go. And then I don't want to be that, putting nobody in a situation.
Understand.
I said, I don't know what to do. I said, tell you what, he got the thing, he could put the truck in pump, and we stretching line up. I was stretching line. We stretched line.
Right,
that's
down to the rear.
I did enough, and got to the rear step. And by that time, everybody
shows up.
The county invite came. You understand? And everybody's coming in. So that was my very first experience.
Wow.
Very first, like I said, I got to appreciate, we see fire on TV and stuff like that. Well, I think you can go into that.
Yeah.
Oh, we see that stuff on TV, but when you're faced with it for real, it's a
whole
different animal, brother. Okay, now it's man, this is crazy. And you get your first hit of smoke, and I didn't have a face piece on, so I'm in the doorway.
Yeah.
I'm in the doorway. I'm feeding line.
So
I'm in the doorway.
You're the control, so you just it's just you two. That's it?
Right.
Wow. So it's just you two.
You
so
two
he's
until everybody
and
started
you're
coming in, and everybody's
There's no backup, so you just basically
So
control
then
the
everybody
door, just trying to get
just
him
get
the
the
line
line in,
there.
and he's
Okay.
and then people started showing up.
Then
Then
you start
he started,
backfilling and pulling.
you'd have to pull. You just walk down the block, and everybody's gearing up, putting this up, and everybody's going to work on that first fire. You know what I'm saying? So that was an experience that really like wow,
open your eyes.
now you say,
like,
open myself. What did
I get into?
know?
What did I get into?
Yeah.
All right. So what else? What other stories do you have of actual fire? Now you're trained
Yeah.
and you're in there. What you got for me?
I got. I remember Roosevelt.
Okay.
Fire we had at Roosevelt.
Okay. So for our listeners, we're First Due Engine into Roosevelt, which is our town. So that's our mutual aid for people that don't know. We have, what happens is that we have mutual aids, meaning that this town will go over to this town to go help out. So for us, Roosevelt's right next to Uniondale.
Exactly.
So for us, Brookside Company 2, we are first due to their box anytime they have a working fire. But go ahead.
But we had a call for an auto business on Babylon Turnpike.
Okay.
Mutual aided there. We rolled in. We got called. I don't know who the chief was, Hector or I don't know who the chief was. Roosevelt at the time.
Okay.
I can't remember. But we got called in for that job. It was one of those auto businesses. It was like now. It was a wintertime. Everything shut down, but the fire was inside this establishment, this building. Okay. We got called in. First mutual aid. Coming in, stretching line and everything like this.
Right to the fire.
Okay, right to the fire. Units lined up in front of this building because guess what now? We're talking about hazards. Okay, you're talking about cars. You're talking about auto shop. Okay, so
everything is
right.
in there.
So we we roll into
Gas.
this, everything. So and this place is tight because it's a winter time and they're working inside.
Yeah.
So we got there. We got there. We had lines stretched and we're going in and we're walking around in this place inside the building. And still shut tight. Nothing was cut. Nothing was,
So you're inside? Is there smoke yet
There's
no?
smoke, but it's inside the building.
Okay, so you guys are still outside.
We just outside, and we now opened up. Now we're going to stretch line into
so
the
y'all
building.
are just
stretching in, flanked out. And we coming in. They already had line stretch already. Roosevelt, they in there.
Yeah, they already.
We coming in now. We coming in without.
Coming in to help. Yeah.
Right. So we coming in. We're walking around. We got cars on lifts. We got chemicals, gas, oil, transmission fluid, antifreeze, drums, 55 gallon. All the stuff is in here, and it's hot. It's hot, man, because this place is tight. It's hot.
Yeah.
Smoke is billowing. Smoke is banking down. Okay, we're not. The evolutions of fire. Okay, as we see that. You can get into all of that. The nuances of evolutions of fire. But the evolution was right there because everything was tight. All the ingredients for disaster were there.
Right there.
Okay. So while you're inside dealing with this, of course, the chief is outside. He's looking at from his perspective, from his view, and he's only relying on the communications coming from us inside.
Yep.
Okay, that's the job of the chief. We're communicating. You got officers. You got everybody communicating with back to the chief. What's going on in there? So while, of course, a fireman's attitude at that point, at any point when you go in, you're already charged up, you're already pumped up, the adrenaline's going, you're going in, and you're going deep, so you're trying to get to the fire. I want to put the fire in. Everybody wants to be in the nozzle. Everybody's aggressive to do our job. We want to get the job done. That's the thing. But when I'm seeing some of the things,
sometimes
that evolution of things that are happening while we're being so aggressive, so as this fire was evolving, we didn't know, that all these byproducts, don't forget now, you got exhaust, you got gas, fumes, vapors.
It's an auto shop.
All this stuff is an auto shop. Was really coming to a head. Smoke, we didn't realize was trying to seep out through all the cracks. So what we call like a backdraft situation. Where a situation where there's a fire is looking for oxygen. It needs to survive.
Starts
it's
breathing.
Going to pull and breathe.
It's like
it's
looking.
Pulling any orifice, any crack,
anything
any crevice. It's going to
to
start pulling oxygen into
place
space to survive. So that's what we didn't know that. So as this thing was going on, we heard now. What happens is in this situation from the outside, if a chief sees a situation that's really dangerous to his men, which is his first priority, he would alert them to come out, not by radio,
Tell them.
Okay,
hitting them
horns.
Bang,
Every
bang,
piece of
bang.
apparatus on
Everyone.
the outside was blasting their horns.
Get out.
Get out now. Get out now. Get out now. So we kept hearing, get out now. Get out now. So guys are grabbing guys. You know, guys are tuned into the aggression. They were getting into the fire. We was in there. We're doing what we're doing, right? But we had to grab guys. And we was pulling guys. Let's go. We got to go. We got to go. We got to go. We don't know what's going on. We don't see from the outside what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So what happened was, as we backing out, finally got out of the thing, we didn't know that the building was such pressure in the building to the fire was pulling. It was pulling the brick. It was a brick building. It looked like it was breathing. The building was expanding and contracting. Expanding
and the chief
and
is seeing this.
And is seeing this from the outside.
And you in there.
And we in there. You understand? So,
wow.
Yeah, so that was one one of those crazy things that,
that you're like, yo.
And anytime in a backdraft, this is when when that fire is looking for oxygen. Yeah. And when it receives that oxygen, it'll go right towards it. Right towards it. It'll suck it right in there, and then the whole room goes into one thing. So that's what we were facing.
Wow.
That's
a story right there,
so
man.
Of course,
that is a story.
Right. So of course, and after we do what we do, we do. We go back and we
do
critique.
A critique.
We go critique back to the firehouse. We find out what we did wrong, what we could do right.
Done better.
Why should we do this and why should we do that? That's part of also your training, regimen, where you get to review things and then get to kind of muscle up on stuff where you need, and then you got to check yourself too, because sometimes we really go, we want to go in and check ourselves. Why we want to go in so deep and then turn around and then you have a problem. So that's one of them. On the other side, of the flip side, I remember what fire we went to, and this is on, I guess, the human side. We had a fire one time. I can't remember what it was. We went. It was a second floor fire, and we went upstairs, and it was a lot of fire load on the second floor.
Just real quick, are you chief during this time, or are you just firefighter? Are you captain, lieutenant?
I was ex-captain at the time.
Okay. So this is in between.
In between that,
stuff, before you became chief.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a second floor fire. We went up, and there was a lady there. The people could say, "The lady's in the house. The lady's in the house." But we weren't getting that communication until after. We was already up there. We was already knocking down fire. It was on the second floor. The whole top of the floors going. And there's one particular room that was really rocking. So we was in there. We was upstairs, and we on the stairs. We're moving line in. Trying to get Chuck to vent the room out. Yeah. When they finally got the chance to vent the room out, and like I said, we were all in smoke. It was just smoke banged down to the floor. And, crawling around, we're, searching and we're looking for stuff and everything. But we started getting things about there's a lady in there. We couldn't find nothing. We was just, wall to wall, ceiling to floor smoke. And we were circling around looking. So what happened was as the fire was going on, the carpets, everything was going up. So we're moving stuff around, we're moving stuff, trying to, get hot spots. We're trying to pull ceilings and all kind of stuff was going on. And just to get to the fire. So in the process of all of this, we're going around. And when the smoke started lifting, and then we're still looking for this person. We couldn't find the person. We're looking. We come to find out that the lady was right in the middle of the room.
Wow. So you're doing a right hand, he's doing a left hand search. You guys are going around the room, but not really hitting the middle.
Right. And then we had a pose, we pulling, but what happened, a unique situation was like when you're pushing stuff and moving stuff in beds and mattress on top of people, we're moving and we wind up, once we tried to, unveiled everything after the smoke cleared, basically started lifting, we started seeing stuff, then we saw that the lady she was already,
she already had, but still
is the point that, we couldn't really, it's the point that's another training point too. That
hurts to the heart because it's like you were right here. Like I could, and she may have most likely already been gone from, smoke inhalation, but still that still hits there. And it's just like, you go through this critique and then you're like, damn, like, but then that training is what, you gotta say, we gotta make sure we hit that, wow. There's
a lot
of that one. That one.
Yeah.
So bring it to another topic. Because one thing that I know of you, besides all of that, right? Because I was in when you were chief and I was in with all of that, is the juniors.
Oh, yeah.
So when anyone even thinks of the juniors in Uniondale, the first name that comes up is Charlie Crayton.
Yeah.
That almost like became your baby.
Yeah.
So
Well,
how did you get into that? Like, how did you get into the juniors?
Once again, I was not looking for another job. Okay, I was
You
not.
know, for a person that ain't looking for a job, you always getting them.
Yeah, I was not looking for another job. Believe me, I was
Okay.
not looking for another job. I just happened to be second lieutenant in Brookside, second lieutenant, first lieutenant, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I was approached again. There were two people that was already operating the juniors at the time.
Okay,
And that was
taking
her name
care
was
of it.
Joyce Martin and Lenny Ellaby.
Okay.
All right. Chief Ellaby's father.
Yes. Yes.
Chief
Okay.
Ellaby's father.
Yep,
So
truck four.
they were right, and they were in charge of the juniors at the time. I was around. I was just doing stuff. I was involved in some trainings and this and that, whatever. But
Yeah.
and I believe I just had put my daughter, Larice, and my niece Christine, got involved in the juniors because they're approximately the same age.
Okay.
So that's how I was
Yeah.
drawn into that. So once they came in, I was drawn in because it's my children.
Yeah.
Basically.
So
So
you was like, hey, I'll
I
help out.
gotta help
Yeah, I
out.
need help with stuff.
Help
Let me know.
out.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm an officer in the department
Yeah,
and everything. So I
yeah.
said, let me
If y'all need
hang
help,
out, help out, do this.
Yeah.
And that, So I guess pretty much after a while, one thing led to another, and Joyce had to leave and Lenny had to leave. So he said, hey,
Chief?
Lou,
Well,
Lou,
Lou at the
so we
moment.
gotta, I don't know, we had whatever issues were. He said, but we gotta leave, but do you think you can handle the juniors?
Mhm.
I'm like, what? Like this is,
What do you mean handle?
yeah, and pretty much it was just like that. I said, well, I can only do what I can do. I'm only one guy. You two are doing it, and I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
So they wound up moving on, and I was I was settled with the juniors, but
That was it.
and but after that, it was my daughter was there, my niece was there. And an extension of friends
Yep,
around the circle
yep.
started coming into the juniors at that time. I think we had like maybe 15, 20 juniors at the time.
That's good.
You
That's
know,
good.
and then after my daughter and my niece came in, and their friends wanted to come. Some,
Yep,
some
yep.
extended, people stuff. So it grew. It grew to
Yeah.
about 30
Wow.
30
30 kids.
30
that you're
kids.
wrangling
And
on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. And I was doing it by myself.
Wow.
So that was like, and I come
It was
to
a
my,
lot.
and I come back, another bag of stuff for my wife, and I got the juniors there.
I know she's like, yo, what is going on? I know she's like, you know what, Marv? I should have never took that paperwork from you. Like, I should have never.
I said
because it has not stopped.
Listen,
I'm going to do it all the way if I'm going to do it.
Exactly. So that's, so from there, that was the beginning
That's
stages of
good.
my involvement with kids, the juniors.
Okay.
Like I said, from that, and after my daughter, my niece, about 3 years older than Cameron, and my son,
Yep.
Cameron Crayton, my son Anthony, his friend Kyle Brown. Some of these kids started coming out and drawing more kids into the program. So after that, after their bunch of kids came in, it grew to my 35, almost 40 kids. I'm having, in the juniors. So.
But I think that's amazing. You took it over and did it yourself. Start bringing in people like you said, Cameron Crayton. For the listeners, that was the first show we ever did. That's one of my best friends, dear to my heart. Again, the things you get when you join the fire services, you get lifelong friends. And Cameron Crayton is one of my lifelong brothers, friends. And I don't want to say friend. He's my brother.
He's a brother.
It's a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood.
It's a brotherhood.
He's became that.
And sisterhood.
And a sisterhood.
And sisterhood.
And a sisterhood. That's right.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it
All right.
twisted.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's move on. Let me ask another question. Lighten it up a mood a little bit. If there's one common myth that you can debunk right now about firefighting, what would it be?
Myth?
If you could think of anything. If not, don't worry about it. Any myths?
I don't know what a myth.
So people have said things like, we don't get cats out of trees. People have said things like, I don't know. This is people think that, we just go in their house and tear it up.
Oh yeah, well that's that's a good one. I would like to address that because many times on the sidelines you would hear certain things going on, especially in a fire scene. Any fire scene you see stuff happening. Oh, look at them tearing up. They don't have to do this and they don't have to do that. They don't. Again,
There's a rhyme and a
when you're
reason.
on the other side of the line,
There
and
you
I'm
go.
going to say that to you, until you're on the other side of the line, you don't know what you need to do to save what our job is to save lives and property to the
Yep.
best of our ability,
Yeah.
the best of our training. Okay, so when you see certain things happening, okay, it's to prevent the whole thing going to, okay.
Yeah.
We're trying to save as much as we can of
Much as
your
you can get.
your
Yeah.
not even just the building itself, but your personal items, sentimental things that are in your
That's
home.
right.
And
We're trying to save it.
We're trying to save these
That's right.
things.
That's so
Okay,
true.
if it takes us to take a window out, we need to take windows and doors to get the smoke out of your house, so you won't have extensive fire damage or water damage or whatever. We need to do to get the wet stuff on the
And the
red stuff.
There we
Okay?
go. Get the wet stuff on the red
Okay.
stuff. All right. So, you know what we could do right now, Chief?
Yes.
We could play a game that we call the flashover. Let's get that game going. All right. So basically, how the flashover goes is I need a quick answer. Right. I'll give you something like Android and Apple. You got to give me the answer really quick. All right. But we're gonna do movies and TV shows. If you didn't see the TV show or didn't movie, just say I didn't see it. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might not know the names of them, but I think I saw a couple. I don't watch too many of them, but
Okay. So if you're not
Yeah.
sure, just say I'm
Yeah.
not sure,
Yeah.
and then we'll move on to the next.
Yeah,
All right.
good.
All right, Chief. Are you ready for the flashover?
Oh, let's go.
Let's go. All right, here we go. Let's go. We got Chicago Fire Rescue Me.
Chicago Fire.
All right. Rescue Me Third Watch.
I'm not familiar with Third Watch.
So then
I
you're
don't know
going
which one. Yeah.
So you're going to rescue me, I guess, because you're not doing that.
Yeah.
I know you're familiar with this. Backdraft, Ladder 49.
Ladder 49, I think.
Ladder 49?
Was it Backdraft? I don't remember Ladder 49.
Backdraft was the older
one. I like your Backdraft.
So Backdraft, right? Ladder 49 was a newer one, I think, with John Travolta.
Right.
And
Oh,
stuff
no,
like
no,
that.
no. Yeah. I know
Okay.
okay.
And then the most important question I'm going to ask you today, Chief.
I don't know. Man.
Most important question. Are you ready?
Oh, here we go.
Engine or truck?
Of course, engine.
There we go. Engine all the way.
Yeah.
Engine all the way. I love it.
Don't put out fires, baby.
You gonna piss off some truckies, man. You gonna piss
it
off
is
some
what it is.
truckies.
Everybody has their place. Everybody has their place.
All right, so Chief, I got a couple more questions for you. Just in a whole, like, right? How has being in the volunteer service, the volunteer fire department, how has that changed your life?
I guess the incentives. I'm not, don't take nothing away from, paid fire service, paid FDNY and all the, the great guys doing the work. And look at California right now.
Yeah.
The guys, they're killing themselves out there putting out these fires.
Yeah.
But that's the importance of being paid and being on the job, to be there. You understand? Be there. I don't have to come from here, there, everywhere. They're there, they're ready, they're trained to do exactly what they're doing. So everything has its, everything has its,
definitely.
in a position. So, kudos to them for doing what they do.
That's right.
And the training that, that they have, attained to themselves to be at this moment what they're doing.
Yeah.
I remember we went to New Mexico for a trip one time, and I ran into 2 fire jumpers. These guys that do actually that. They jump into the fire.
Wow.
Okay, into the seat of the brush fires and stuff out
And
there in the
they
West.
go to
and I was
work.
going to work, like that. And these guys, they got to leave their family for months on end, and they paid, but they may not come back. So I mean, firefighting is firefighting. Fire don't respect no badge. They don't look at you and say, "Oh, he's an FDNY guy. We can't burn him."
Yeah,
or,
no,
he's a
don't.
volley, and he, no, it's
None
fire,
of that
fire.
matters.
It don't matter. You understand?
That's right.
What matters is that you have yourself in a position that you're able to look out for your brother, okay, with your training, okay, and give whatever it takes to get to the common goal, You know, it's a first and foremost is to save life.
To save life. But you said in a whole it changed it because of the incentives. So you mean incentives of things like being there for your community?
Well, yeah. Well, the community. Well, the difference is between the paid guy, they get paid.
Yeah. So
and us, we're saying we get it's for the community.
It's for the community.
Okay.
There you go.
Your neighbors. All these things that we do here.
That kid that looked at you and was like, "Wow,
exactly.
this fireman looks like me."
This is exactly what it is. So you're there for your people.
Yeah. There you go.
No matter who they are, what they look like, you're there for your people.
Your community is your people.
And they look to you for that. Once they know they look to you for that.
Okay.
So that's the pay you get.
Yeah.
That's the pay you get. That's your adrenaline rush. That's rewards. We get our awards. We have our installation dinners. We have all wonderful things, and everybody wants to be, who they want to be. But the bottom line is that you're there for the people in the community. Okay, 95%. 95% of firefighting in this country is volunteer.
A lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
and only because it's mandated because of density of area, in the area that you have to have a paid fire service there.
Yeah.
Okay. 1,500 calls of EMS calls per year. Yeah. Okay. You have to have someone there to ride that ambulance to the call. Okay. I don't care if it's us as a fire service or we have what we call our police, our police contingent there and the ready to help in these rescue situations and medical emergencies and all this kind of thing. So it's a complementary thing that it works together. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. All right, so Chief, I got two more questions for you. First question. If there's anybody, and this is like a new thing that we've been doing on the show, anybody that you think that would be great on this show that should come down, shout their name out right now. Man. Who do you think that you would say, we've had a lot of people. We've had a lot of people on the show. Mm. Is there anyone else that you would say, you know what, they should come down?
I would say Battalion Chief Donald Hayden.
Donald Hayden was on. So
he was on. I know.
He was on. Oh, Donald Hayden was on. Yeah.
Well, I second the motion.
There you go. You second.
He's one.
That was great. We were so excited to just to hear about his story. It was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing. So look at that. Look at that.
Maybe somebody else. Who else do I got to think about? I don't know. Who else
you gave us that one. Yeah. We already did it, so that means we're doing our job.
So just a leaf. I gave a leaf out to the truck company and said, "Would Teddy Smith been on?"
No, he hasn't.
We'll bring Teddy Smith on.
There we go. So Teddy, we need you down here. I think I reached out to him. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely going to now. But I thought I reached out to him.
I mean, you could think of. I could think of a lot of people, but I'm thinking about because when I first came in, when I was a probie, Teddy was already a chief.
Yeah, so he already,
I could have been in the department a long time ago. I could have been because I moved out here in '77.
Okay.
And I remember Russ was a chief. I remember the old station wagon, the Chiefs wagon.
Wow.
And we used to play hockey in the streets because that was a game out here. Island was a big time out here, and I used to run around and see us playing hockey in the streets, but I didn't even know about the juniors at that time. You didn't
even know that.
You had people like Chief Eason was already here.
Yep.
You had, Milton Bowe was already in here.
Yep.
These guys were already in the department, and they came through the juniors. So I don't know. The news didn't reach us down in that inside of the town that I was able to go, but it did. I found out that I said at the time I came in, there was a captain. Matter of fact, he lived on the block. Just that quick, I forgot his name. Well, anyway, when I came in, he was in front of me, and I'm saying, well, how did you get here? And I didn't get here.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So, it just communication didn't reach as far. And like I said, that I'm quite sure that my parents would have threw me in.
Put you in it immediately.
My mother would have put me in there, and, they would have put me right in there because, they were that kind of people. We was always community-oriented people.
Yeah.
Family was always service-oriented. All my uncles were military, except for one, but he was a community-oriented guy. He was the #1 Boy Scout leader in the upper northeastern part of Ohio.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, Charlie Crayton. So he was big time. Big town in the Boy Scouts.
But you got here, even though the word didn't get down. It got down some way.
Yeah.
even if it came through Merv to Tina to you, it got you here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so Chief, I got one more question before we get out of here. One more question. If there's someone that is listening right now that is just joined or is thinking about joining, what type of advice would you want to give them?
Assess your time. You have to really make it a good assessment about what time you have to lend to this adventure. I have people on my job that I know. As a matter of fact, some of their children were juniors. I advise them that the kids come in and join the juniors, but for them themselves, knowing in the position they were in, they would not be able to fulfill the obligation that this is asking of them.
Okay.
That they would find themselves falling short. So I would advise you really seriously assess the time that you have, assess for your schedules, how your other obligations, before you put another load on. And then, like I said, there are obligations. There's training regiments. You must attend classes, certifications, all kind of things, especially when you go into EMS side. It gets kind of extensive when you're going that way. And again, responding, responding to the call. So, you have to really assess your time. I would not push anyone into something that you say you could not fulfill that obligation. You understand? It's hard enough, to balance your life, especially like people like me coming in the age I did, coming in almost 35 years old. And I have this obligation of family.
Yeah, you already got that going.
And I'm juggling everything,
Yeah.
I'm juggling. I can go on and on, but I was juggling a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to make the calls. I'm still trying to make the meetings. I'm still trying to do the parades. I'm still trying to do all the things that I'm obligated to do to fulfill, that space, which we serve. So I would really, like I said, really evaluate that. Assess your time. Can I do
Look right
this?
at that screen. Tell them, assess your time.
Assess your time before you come. Believe me. All right.
I love that.
All right.
So listen, Chief, thank you so much
Yes, my brother.
for coming down
Yes.
and gracing your presence
Yes.
here
It's
at the
an honor and a
Firehouse.
pleasure.
Is there anything I'm forgetting?
Huh?
Anything I'm forgetting that you want to touch on? I mean, I think we did pretty good here.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it is what it is. I'm gonna be 63 soon.
Look at that.
Before
you knew it.
Before I knew it, and I'm like, wow, 63, and like certain things, like I said, some of the same old guys I talked about at the beginning of the program. I'm that old guy now.
Yeah,
I'm that guy.
Right.
You're
the old guy now.
I'm the guy now. So it's just you look back and reflect on things in your life. Don't let the moments pass. Do something valuable in your life. Do something, give back. Do something valuable in your life. All right. If you got time to sit around, I don't care if you got to go to the soup kitchen or whatever it is that's gonna be just driving you to do what you got to do. It don't have to be the fire. People maybe don't want to be part of the fire department, but do something in the community. There's plenty of stuff to get involved and do. I remember the fire service is a big deal in communities. I remember we had our challenge with the East Garden City issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to roll down to Mineola, okay, to the legislator's office and make our voices heard. Yeah. Okay. We had community and fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Community and fire together.
It's huge.
Okay. Bringing some
heat
huge. Down there. Okay. Defending the borders of our town.
Yeah.
You understand? And again, that was led by commissioners. Okay. Especially Merv again. And No String Gardens people and all the associations around, all the community associations, community was coming together to fight, and we're still fighting, you understand, to preserve, our boundaries. So, again, this is it's a unique opportunity and a unique honor, for the community to depend on you so much, not just only for fire stuff.
Yeah,
just to be
for
the presence,
everything,
just for the presence, the presence.
Yeah.
Okay, when they see those trucks, they see you.
Yes,
it's a certain amount of
so true.
Wow,
so true.
Wow, that you bring. So I just like to thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, thank you. Well, first let's really quick just shout out. It's so crazy because you saying Tina Crayton.
Yeah, Tina.
I feel
wife,
uncomfortable saying Tina because I know her as Miss Crayton,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
This was my children's teacher, so we always knew her as Miss Crayton. I don't feel comfortable saying Tina, but shout out to her that brought you to the fire service.
She brought the papers.
She brought the papers. So thank you, Tina, for bringing them down. So again, thank you so much for coming out, Chief.
Thank you, my family support,
family, everyone,
family, all my family, my brother, my sister-in-law, my brother Greg, sister-in-law, all there,
And you, if you really think about it, because of you, I got one of my best friends.
There you go.
Cameron Crayton, right? Because he
Yeah,
saw you doing it,
yeah,
and now and that's how I met him. So
yeah.
I love it. All right, thank you, Chief, so much for coming down.
Yes.
Listen, everybody, we just heard from Chief Charlie Crayton from the Uniondale Fire Department about his life as a firefighter. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation. Please like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. I am your host, Chris Moses, and please tune in next week to another great conversation in the Firehouse.